Meji betene no na te amejeje amete ajabe na me papa da. Fi anke bofo ni yo mi da fe ame. Eja ka me tagbe na me blow ta flache. Ake kwake ni ajabe ye kuni. Sheba ne ba ye manje. Ne che nu tumo ne cha no. Tombo ne apete play we. Je na kani. Amenfun mulu kenwo public memi ake amame wini ko blofo eke maintain the status quo any body situation yo bia ne ayishi na kan until the appeal is determined ebo agento any situation ayishi na kan the status quo is maintained pending the determination of the appeal. Whatever on yeskite gbeno no wo pada. Mabo ame lawyer ataflache. Echa ame ko ne ka na echu ame. Ake manche nu wo yo ni ji ni o kanta ankadi je nyo. Echa nu tumono. That is the position. Eye manche ne sa shia bo ne sa le je go hin efio na pale pente. Okenye baba bi enye ba nna no ni ahon ko spon. Shi aje kutoku nshika na cafe unprecedented. Ko oyenye lobby for okanfole. Eba eka megbe nka wo numbo ampako bla nu ni for. Ke ingbe ke gbomocho. Ni fresh denche. Ye numbo ni ka men na kole okle baba. No inwe mo fi one. Yo be mi moni yo ne ngbeji ni kwe ashale ni ji kenklen kaleshi manche e ka ba nu ngbe yin Ankrah o ba fe me yin basa shin ye Otublohum dade ba na inye ni for me atole na akwa no Ankrah na akwa no ni legi Otublohum adonti hima na akwa no cheji ni papo ake ni papo oti the second ni le ba fe adonti hini ka otabi emi ni unja yi emi ni ji dade bana no obacha no no ne wo watch press conference on ake wota agbehi ni wo mblo si wo je shiam ye tumi ni wo yo wo jinjele wo yin ni wo pa ye wo dase je ni wo mblo wo fe weku ni noko fie ba ni won tauna ye moni ba yo nupa ke Mantse Ankrah weku e yo Mantse Ankrah weku e egbiji eteni Mantse Ankrah denche ni ji Ankrah weku e ayi weku e ko kanta weku na kaji bone kashi e yake Mantse Ankrah ni ji chumisi Ankrah enyemi me hienyu ne ka meje musumi to moni akan kusun yo ameji ayi ko kanta no ame hie gagbe ile yen chumisi Ankrah no ka le emi mbla mo ni che tene fio weku e mukube penya ajemi ne ka ka je dade banna no bele dade ban shi awulu ni Ankrah ayi ko kanta fe jemi ufio Mantse Ankrah gbeni no oketashi eshira to eshira te ye nyisene woyani akato onupa ye bia me ni shi awulu ne bi ajo ato keje dane wokena kan ishwe ba amashi nya ba na kai be jano to ebo na tole be fi oba na kan be eje na Ankrah jimoni your head of state ni echu kete palace ton ni di castle na tashi ni yemone ke ba to ankashi we kwetene ka yiye Ankrah baye ni ebaya okanta no na kangi begya no toe bia me ni papa ne chene etwense balake sana atu ese na jian be fi o ba je poke court ya kani bi no achi ato na achi ato be ni akuse aboaye na yesani ata na ba ato na sho kanta no ole ni eje aka ato mkweko nkaje yeko shida de bana atole ni ade Ankrah ni ajabe Ankrah no woke ni ade na wole ni ajabe mbe eneje ni onukpa efe ni fio Mantse Ankrah ayeshia na ni biaje na ato obaya mi face no ka woji efe baba no be woshia na wote court to boni atasu ze yu ake mla ya manemi na yo mla no wo fe wote court oka woji adamo court afie na chikete na chikeba na ka wa yekuni blofo mi no ma ke blofo mi ni nke bagami wa yekuni ni noni jeje keji. Accordingly, judgment is entered in favor of the plaintiffs as follows. Plaintiff said ichete ni fio Mantse Ankrah ni odoko ni amano ke jomo ji onukpa otole jomu ma cha megbe ilenche ni ame ama sue amkesanieti court against about the case ne no ye kuni no ye no ni court ke jeje ke ne makani. Accordingly, judgment is entered in favor of the plaintiffs. A declaration is made that the defendant is not, and I repeat, is not the head of family of Mantse Ankrah royal family of Otublohum, and in an order is made restraining the defendant from holding himself out as the head of the Mantse Ankrah royal family. Bene agule ye le head of family ke Mantse Ankrah wekwe. Second one is bieke, an order is made and directed at all appropriate authorities to expunge the name of the defendant from the records as the head of Mantse Ankrah family. Court teke hepe nyang megbe ye aje gbe keje wojiami akeleji wekuicho ke Mantse Ankrah wekwe. Blofo mieko ni jisieke, an order is made and directed at the defendant to hand over all properties and assets of the Mantse Ankrah royal family, including the Mantse Ankrah royal family palace and the keys to the royal cemetery at Kanishin, to the plaintiffs within a period of 7 days after service of entry of judgment. Akeka hala wolo ni chwa akachi ahe judgment against the 7 days. Ekewo palace ki abao, ekewo go ki ao, ekewo property fe ni bi ni yuade, ekewo ni abao. Court die. The defendants also is to render accounts to the plaintiffs in respect of all properties of the family that he took control of since the date he was unlawfully installed. Ah, yeah, blofo. Suze ke no blofo. If you are ne enuko no yowa egbe na. Ake no fe no ekaba ne babu akunta ehawo. Plaintiff say biamini awole neja ni a takeover way ni efeni bi shika kunta fe e babu yawo. Where the plaintiffs are not satisfied with the statement of accounts, nothing stops the plaintiff to invoke the provisions in the Head of Family Accountability Law 1985, PNDC Law 114. Akeke you obey me she your judgment ne what ye be kong no buy a court no invoke nika 111 ne twanke ke Head of Family jibwe sanobu akunta One weku. No, ka obey me share, what ye be, wabaya. She wabasha jen, ye kukwem. Okay, I may be perpetual injunction is granted against the defendant. Perpetual. Kenya nano agule. Agents, many fate ni nyese, tomo suzeme, kapete play. A co-host, a previous, a assigns, a workman, etc. from further interfering and harassment with the plaintiff's rights in respect of the affairs of the Mantse Ankrah family. Okay, many years, a shall be many ball, many warning, mofemo, ne corneke, ajabene here. I'm a baby, ni amekame wo Mantse Ankrah no kumi. Namba interfere, lo ambawo na jia ting. Ya Mantse Ankrah we kusani mi. Agwa meke ya nano. No, again, the order of interlocutory injunction granted against the plaintiff earlier in the suit is hereby revoked. Wolona hale ni ake wo medam na yesani ata na yata na kai wale ni injunction ahedi. No, any do judgment no wo here o pa press me o ba me copy ame fe na me yin ko koni ka me ma me ni bia me ke wo mi ojogba koni me ni na awe mo ne ama me na egbe na me ka na eko no wo kenkle no ne ni ane ke judgment ne ame na e me nche ni ame ke ame ya na ma fe no ko actually stay of execution ni twa ke egbe ne na wo ye judgment ne mi wo me down stay ejake wo ba nyese ni wo ni bi eri to execute no na ka execution e court ba wo gulu no ka tuweni kini ke na mi nche shi e ba ya court ko e wo but ni apply koni court order ke na ka execution no ahie wo me down koni e ya fe e appeal ka yesani atan kona agbene wo ka wo ye be wo judgment e ya no kele ye kona agbene e ba kwano ni ba fe ye no mi no ahe na kan wale it is stay of execution it e court no ni judgment ni ale stay of execution she a dismiss na kan sane ne kete no ya fe kokro ya high court ya appeals court ni appeals court oba fole kuku head ni yo bi agi nyebo ablofo eto suze ni ne ko na gbo to emi wo first time of your press conference na o wie ahun she wona kan ni bi no yo most of them are irrelevant no wo bi na ablofo na magi notice of motion application for stay of execution pending an appeal no jino na tebi ane no dino nyama nyekete ni ko teke yo ankwale mo fe mo yegbena ni ke be mi she e ba nye ne fe mi ni e ya court ko ni e ya wi sane e ko na ba ko eje me kaji eye kuni fine ne ke je ba omode apale no be no na te ni ma repeat je me ko notice of motion of application for stay of execution pending an appeal. No me boy abiaka wo me no ka e na kan wale no ba nyo se no e ni bi e ode no bo te court no ka abu na abu na kan gba ka yo plaintiff ni jiwo nye na atwi nye ka e na kan wale no nye na atwi ko no oboletue ka oboletue boni baba okpa ba aka no bako no ni yate ne no wolo yene no ni ko take no ne meji gbete ne no na ti amejeje amete ajabe na me papada ti an ke bo fo ni yo mi e da fe ame e ja ka me tagbe na me blow ta flash no ni ko take ne makane ni baba gami ko ni me ninu eke having read all the relevant processes and exhibits for and against the application for stay of execution, and having heard both lawyers who have argued for and against the said application, we are of the considered view that since the applicant is obliged by law to account for his stewardship as head of the family, that is, under the head of Family Accountability Law, PNDC 114, and by the judgment of the court below, at the end of it all, if the appeal should fail, coupled with the exceptionality of the circumstances in this case, geared from these peculiar circumstances of this case involving a family, a corporate soul, and the need to maintain the peace of the said family, we are minded to exercise our discretion to determine the status quo. To maintain the status quo, and by granting the application, we must emphasize that to the extent that the applicant may be obliged to account to the family at any time, we don't see any perceptible injustice to the respondents if the status quo is maintained pending the determination of the appeal. The application for stay of execution is therefore granted. Judgment na ha ni waka yo manche ne kanibi abawo akekwa ka afomi ni jame akekwa ke ni ajabe ye kuni sheba ne ba ye manche ne che nu tumo ne cha no tombo ne apete pla wie je na kani amenfun mulu kenwo public memi ake amame wini ko blofu eke maintain the status quo. Any body situation you be ane aishinakan until the appeal is determined. Any situation aishinakan. The status quo is maintained pending the determination of the appeal. Whatever onyeski tegenono wopada. Mabu ame lawyer ataflache echa ameko neka ne chuame. Ake manche no yo niji nyo kanta ankradi je nyo eche du tumono. That is the position. Eye manche ne sa shia bone sa le je go hin fio na pale pente. Okenye baba bie nye banna no ni ahoko spon. She aje kutoku nshika na cafe unprecedented. Le suze eke ko oyenye lobby for okanfole eba eka megbonka wo numbo ampako blanu ni e for ke ngbe ke gbomocho ni fresh denche ye numbo ni ka men na kole okle baba no inwe mo fi one. It's unfortunate akashi I may expose my ignorance. Kat here appeals court 3 judges di meni tano no mingi 3-0 anko judgment na kakashi wakaye manche lo nuko I'm a view about the state of execution akachi amaya mewomi nema amegbe koni wiemo na me yo na ma we against judgment na ma we na akwe konye woni enu wakane eke pending the determination of the appeal. No ni ayakuje enepodenche by court. Kake by court ke eka ke mete fe 2-in-1 law 3-in-1 by court stay of execution judgment ni no ni no ji oh nyekeba nyekewo me na kaba nyenyese no be wonye na ka egbe na kaba nyenyese ko ni nyekenye sane aba no wokwami wanye no bone ayole ni numwe Mantse Ankrah okanta eyo ebayele nakai kata be na ba yesane atan nakanji bona ke no oyemo ye 3-1 ko 3-0 oka me bi ewe na menu shishi no di 3-1 ka 3-0 wo ye onupa ete fe ameye ni ye na me hani me represent amedra no di amamba kwantwele ke lifte afie enyo na me ya meba na me wele me ametra me shuano koni amedomo sane no ameha me bana kani se yaka o doctor ko shiana me fe dabi Kaya kote akashia fe ya. You need a representation of the three heads and your legal personnel. No kamu kumete ne adomo meta na shikobe na ya denche keje chuchu na a trotro na yo fabia fama adomo agona. Mete no pe atawo mete ni ji plaintiff say amepe atawo no kaji aya nya face stay of execution keke walo imbe fe ke trotro ke mambi ke balo 3 days notice popo wona na kan yani 3 days no ani wote no nanakan see next time come and that trotro what trotro gane fe wo chichi o ba lo fe ke ba je wo ye no ye greater crap e wo ye Ghana fe vice no wo ba lo trotro fe na kan bila ya ntu no amena tree come and amena wo amana wo gbete pe wo ne she no ti se no she no po fe no ko mla tun ake if the people are represented properly represented and by a legal counselor it is enough for the determination of the motion. No, that is it. And was more release bullets say Kaukamuko Yata Aje bullets in public. But we are ready. If you are Dane, I'm a Jimmy, I'm in shoe, I'm in press conference, I'm in faith. What about one? What your judgment? No, what talking fool? She any near show. I'm a dime, you're more come or I clerk come or I chew any. No, you know, your market. No, come a your be casa for be. Onani. No, I'm a Jimmy now, your be. No, come a trony now, a boy be I. Well, no, I'm a domon say, Ona. She fair, Mogoya ne Yanyuko. Can it be a Langaxania Wally? It's a problem. She wore where you couldn't. Nko me pename nyanyume na metro na gania ko na meba wo hwe mukumuku come small sane ame use ame kenkle be na ma injunction e wa fu gbonyo kan bi e ama use landguard then face asuma ame use police un ke ba wo egbe wo ba se ame te fa se ame won shpon wo ye mfoni ni landguard bi le boy le kenkle boy Sinu one na ene kejekeba wo fe na kai do wo ena no attack bukodan ke wo je 1000 eko minu ebo enjo omo ni mo fe mo ba yin seke t-shirt wo yin no ko won tu ni papa alekeje wo blan mi nonu wo tun ke bata nonu wo kwa sebie no je no ni mekme ni ka ba boy ake amemba ye Mantse nu pa wo ba ya me shishi ena me genhie ngba me nani ye mi na metu blofo eden cha me lewie mu ntwa anya ba ne kote ba dan e ba judgment e kwani bi kume one of the things say ni obi in conclusion the defendants from the totality of the evidence on record could not prove his counterclaim ni to ka le defendant ene kete eni bi na emla kete fe enye na proof no ni bi ekomeni no court take the court has made the following findings you would je fe na mkeba mi ekwemi na na ne ken bi ne against the defendant ni ji ame but we again that there are 3 sections of the Mantse Ankrah royal family and each section has its own sectional head okay no Mantse Ankrah you 3 sectional heads if you're Mantse Ankrah. That there is also a composite head of family. The court has found that the plaintiffs are members of the Mantse Ankrah royal family. We are. That the head of the Mantse Ankrah royal family does not and should not come from the East section alone, but on rotational system of succession starting from Ayi, Ankrah, and Okanta, as vividly contained in the Osu Castle arbitration. General Ankrah, he was the head of state as Aden. Leana Kwe, ni totomoni yo atuneke bejano tone. No ko na Ayi, Ankrah, esho Okanta. Ni Okanta Ankrah ni jenyon, ejo Okanta, eweku icho keleba, avetle. Na approve ake leni ye gamia ke boni o boni na wole ni le yo ye gbeja no to ke wo mlani wo to le constitution ni yo Mantse Ankrah sia wulu ne no wo chon no ha wo to le no wo maya no agbeneke the defendants from their findings is not entitled to perpetual injunction against the plaintiffs. Accordingly, all the defendants' counterclaims are dismissed. No jiwekwe ishikamu.
Ankrah session. Ni obiake kato boku choe na kambomo eye manche. Court DNA e kan bi antone. Session fe ukanta session am where your head. Ayi session am head. Ankrah session I am head. She neke session name ni ato omokombe nle chon boku fe head. Na kanto a rotation ni affair arbitration castle 1968 general Ankrah na afi na te afon chiki ayi meji mani ye kenklen Ankrah me bachano ke ukanta di mani ye dead yo ba ya lake ayi me ba ye ka ayi me ye Ankrah me eye ke ukanta eye bianto ne eshe ukanta ni ko kan judgment introduction jeje ke sane ni kashin ele ake meni yo ko te fe ni ji woku me fe meni ke sane ba ke mena ke sane shi fe amele anu kwale she just ameta na me formula be wo ma ngba mi
yo no if you me ake eshe ke kwenye press conference please am ke ni dade ba na yi dade ba emi ngla mo fake fale ni koton ke aye head of family ke je ayipe ntwa no manya ba ko
mi ni jasi okulupon Otublohum dade ba na jasi cheji efemi ake neke issue na je ngene wojinshi ni ibala ake woto niji okuicho niji ni okanta Ankrah the second niji enyo awonake appeal issue ni ibala ake wote ni agrant am appeal agrant stay no di jubilation na me jubilator shi je ni judgment ko na me win allow ruling ko na hani shi sani emi ni agrant ni court eyami ni akwa ake le judgment na hawo nuku na mba wielo ni wole ake am appeal na me fie is against shikake properties ni ame ho no he appeal ni agrant ame ake abakwa mi apart from no ele court ekeko ake wokai wo kuchu alo manche no ka won here no still e free o we here ake ngone san wo free press conference ni wiye mo ni te no ye ma kan pa no fe ni tete mo fi o mo fi confuse won yo clear ni mo fi o mo na ake lele shije ni ati court ni wo lusu alodie na ati court na ake wokaye wonu mo ni ji Mantse okanta ni ji no ekaye shi court prevent to ko shi court engo amegba ake sebi appeal na meta wo agranta ame o be na wo ma me wo still judgment na ake ha wo odomo no pe yo wi wo you are done.